1 second. So in the last class, what we discussed, so we tried to discuss about uh,
array list.
array list, right? So I hope you understood the array list internal details, how it works.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Uh, yeah. So I already explained how to iterate, how to extract. I mean, how to display all the elements, how to get all the elements, of all the objects from the list, array list. So by using for loop or for each loop, both ways we can use it. Am I right?
Yes,
I
sir.
think I already explained, right?
Yes,
Guys,
sir.
Yes, sir.
you can hear my voice. Okay. So now, before going to the linker list, internal detail and all, let me, if you want to delete or if you want to remove elements while looping, okay. So I want to delete while looping. For example, if so, while it is looping, if wo dot, let's say okay. Sorry, guys. So before going to the linker list, let's talk about how to. I mean, while looping, let's say when you are iterating, you want to. So I want you want to skip. Let's say I will add 1, 2, 3, like these numbers. Okay. Uh, 4, like this. Okay, let's add it. But I want to remove the second element while looping. Okay, so I want to check and I want to remove it. So while looping, how to remove it? Let's try to understand here. So object wo colon li. Sorry, L1. So this L1 is list, and this is a for each loop syntax, guys, and it is holding into the O object. So O is holding which data? Integer data. You know that, right? You already added all the integers, right? So which data? It is integer data. So if you want to typecast this, guys, I already, I think I explained about typecast. What is mean typecast? What is typecast? What is typecast? Converting one data type to another data type by using these brackets. Okay, if it is possible. So right now I'm converting object to. Right now I am converting object to
Integer.
Integer.
integer. Now this is the value. So now I'm checking this condition. So what is our requirement now? Just for your understanding. So where I equal to 2, if it is matching with the 2, I want to delete. So if you want to delete that, L1 dot. So how to there is a remove method is there. The remove method. So where the remove method, you can pass I. Okay, you can pass I. So these I object, when you pass, I mean whatever the object you want to remove, so it is removing. This removing is happening at runtime. I mean not run. My intention is to tell here is, so why we are trying to remove the object from the list while looping when we are extracting. Okay, so after that I'm trying to display it. I'm trying to display it L1 L1. I'm trying to display it L1, guys. So now let's say I'm running this application. So look at this. So what kind of exception we are getting here? What is the exception we are getting? You guys, I already told you what is the basic idea of exception. So when while executing anything, due to some reason execution get failed, so that the reason we can call it as a exception. So here, the what is the exception we are getting here?
Concurrent modification exception.
Concurrent modification
Modification
exception.
exception.
See, look at this. So while looping we are trying to modify the list. I mean, we are trying to remove or adding the elements. Then we will get concurrent modification exception. We cannot do that while looping. For that, to avoid this reason is behind that, there is a because one thread is already working on to remove the thread is working on to remove the, I mean iterating that element. So that moment you are trying to remove, so then, so this logic, I mean both are happening at the same time. That is the reason concurrent modification exception. That means while looping, when you are trying to remove the element, you are getting this exception. So so to avoid these exceptions, you cannot directly, I mean, to modify anything in the list while looping. So it's not the good to use the for loop, guys. It's not the good to use for loop. Only for the iterating, only for looping, only for extracting, you can use for loop. But to modify the things while looping, it's not the good to use the for loop or for each loop. So for that, there is a new concept. I mean, if you see that, there is a method called iterator. Can you see that iterator method
Yes, sir.
on where this iterator method available?
List and list.
List interface. List
List
interface. So
interface.
that means, as already ArrayList is implementing the list interface, ArrayList already implemented which method? Iterator method. Iterator method is already implemented in
List interface.
list, not implementation. So that is declaration in list, but implementation is done in where it is done in ArrayList, right? The class. Method implementation means which gave the body and all law, but declaration is in the list interface, implementation in ArrayList. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so look at this, the logic. This is the ArrayList. If you go and see that iterator, look at this, there is a iterator method. Yeah. So here you go. But again, it is calling some other thing. So these are the logic and all. You don't worry about it because it's already implemented. Just you are trying to use it. Okay. Now, what this iterator will do is generally, if you go and see that array list, what are the classes, what are the interface are implementing. Array list is extending which class? Abstract list class. Okay, so that means what generally happening, abstract list is implementing the list interface by providing some of the methods, and it's an abstract class. It's not a direct class. If you go and see that, what is abstract class? What is abstract class? You guys know that, right? What is the meaning of abstract class? So we cannot create object for that class. So when you create a class with using abstract class, and so generally abstract class declaration will be done whenever it is a partial implementation. You guys know that what is abstract class and all the concept, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So now look at this list, random access, clonable, and these are all the things is doing here. So if you go and see that list and collection, so look at this. What is the supermost interface here for this array list? Collection is the super
Collection.
interface, right? Under that list, under that abstract list, and then array list. So then I can say implementation class is array list. It is internally implementing the list and collection, but the collection is extending the iterable. So collection is extending the iterable. So what is this? Is also interface. This is also interface. So can we extend one interface to another interface? If you follow my interface concept class, then you can understand. So just what is happening? A interface is there, B interface is there. I just extended A, extend B. Then so whoever implementing the A interface, or those whoever implementing the A interface, so that person has to implement all the methods of A and B interface methods. Then only that class can be compiled and you can create an object and call it. So now that means whoever implementing the array list, that array list is super interface is list. I mean interface is the parent interface is the list, and that interface again it is extending the collection. That collection again it is extending the iterable. That means array list should have implementation of iterable and collection and another interface called
List interface.
list interface. That means all the methods of iterable, collection, and list, all the implementation is done. If you go and see that iterable, so what is the method? We have only one method, that is iterator method. So that is what we are trying to use here. Okay, only iterator method. Let's go and see that iterator method now. So what this iterator method will do is the implementation is done. If you look at that, implementation is done. When I suggest implementation is done, okay, so that is the reason we are able to get it. And just I'm declaring a variable, guys. So I just declare the variable as iterate. Okay, so now okay, so now we call this iterator method on the list interface. Now we got it. Okay, it. Okay, what I will do is, let's look at what are the methods we have in the iterator. Okay, if you check that, because it's also like a looping, it is also going to help us to loop. I mean, to iterate, or iterate means to rotate all the elements. I mean, to extract all the elements from the array or list or something like that. Okay, so till now we did by using for loop and for each loop. But for loop or each loop, while we are trying to modify something in the array list, I mean removing and adding, so we are getting concurrent modification exception. So to avoid that exception, it is not the correct to use the for loop and all. It is we have iterator concept which we can use to avoid that exception. Okay. Here, one thing you have to remember: if you are not modifying anything, you can use for loop, guys. Okay, as we are modifying. So that method, two methods you have to understand. One is has next, and then the next method. If you look at that has next and next method, so these two are going to help you. Has next means whether the element is there or not in the list, it will help you. If it is true, then it will do. So that means I'm going to use the while loop here. While loop here, for while loop, so I gave this, I call this method it dot has next. What it will return? Boolean value. So if that element is there in the object and the first time, first element is there or not, it will check. So if it is there, then it true, it will return true. When it becomes true, while loop, I mean JVM will enter into the while loop. Now I'm going to call the method called a next method. The next method is going to help you to get the value. Okay, value. That means the value. Now let me first display the values, and then after that we will try to we will try to modify the things. Okay, so look at this, guys. uh, I'm just running this application. 1 2 3 4. So are you able to get the same thing how it work in a for loop? We are able to get. So that means here we are using while loop and it dot has next method. Next method has next method is going to help you whether the element is there or not, and the next method is going to help you. If it is there, then the next method when you call, it will return the value of that. Okay. Now what is our law? What is our concept here? So we want to convert it because all the integers, right? Integer I equal to same logic. I am just typecasting. That means converting one type to another type. So by using typecast operator. What is typecast operator here? Typecast operator is nothing but a just brackets, keeping the data type within the brackets before the object, which object you want to convert. Okay. So the logic is what we have to do. If I equal to double equal to 2. If it is a 2, what is our goal now? If it is our, if it is 2, so what is our goal now? It dot remove. So this it dot remove is going to remove the object which is running here right now. It has that current running, right? So that is going to remove, because when this condition is matching, when while loop JVM enter into while loop, the one object will work on that object, whatever the object right now it is matching with the two, right? So it will remove that, guys. Okay, let me display here. So generally, what are the elements we have in a array list? So 1 2 3 4 objects. 1 2 3 4 means all are integer objects. Now I am running, guys. Now I am running. Look at this. Okay, sorry. The exception is, let me display L1 because okay. Now look at this. What are the elements we got? 1 3 4. Are you getting exception here now? While modifying, when you are iterating, we try to modify. So I mean, modify means we try to remove something. So are you getting any exception? Concurrent modification exception?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So when we will get concurrent modification exception? So the moment when you are modifying, like adding or removing while iterating, while looping, by using for loop and for each loop, so that moment we will get exception. So we should not use the for and for. So we cannot use for and for loop, for each loop and for loop to modify the list while looping. So for that, they have already created one iterator. So that iterator is going to help you by providing the has next and a next method. So only thing is you can, this is also loop, right? While is also kind of loop only. So these methods are going to help you to do that. So what are the methods? Has next, next, and remove methods. So these are all the predefined methods we have, and you can use it. Has next method is going to check that whether the element is already or if it is there, then only it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Okay, when it return false, automatically that while loop will stop executing. Okay, so just look at this. I just used that the concept called iterator. Iterable is the one of the interface which provides the one method. So that implementation is already done in array list. Okay, because array list internally implementing the list interface, collection interface, iterable interface, because all are having the relation. A list, collection, iterable, all are having the relation, because first iterable and then collection is list. So collection and list are the most important interface, because those are the interfaces are having all the required methods for doing all the operations on the list of objects. Okay, so I hope you understand the whole hierarchy of this array list. So guys, any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Okay, good then. Let's go and move to that concept called a linked list, guys. So what is linked list? So till now we understand the array list. So now let's try to understand the linked list. So what is linked list? Okay. So linked list is also a linked list is also a one of the implementation class of one of the implementation class of
List interface, collection interface.
yes, we can say directly one of the implementation class of list interface. List is internally already extending the collection and the iterable interfaces. Okay. Now linked list. The linked list, I'm just trying to create object. The linked list, we are trying to create object. Okay, sorry. So the linked list. I just created object for the linked list. So you guys know that already linked list is already implementing the list interface. Now, so the only thing is you have to understand LL dot LL is what? What is LL? It is a reference variable. So I'm just adding that. So same elements I'm adding. One, two, LL dot three, like this. Okay. So now, so what you have to understand, is what will happen when you add an element to the linked list. What will happen when you add an element to array list? You guys know that, right? So array list case, everybody is
Yes, sir.
clear, right? Let's talk
Yes,
about
sir.
the linked list now. Okay. So linked list, what will happen? So it will create one node. The moment when you add a object to a linked list object after creating, it will create a one node dynamically. Node is nothing but some memory part. Okay, it will create a one node, and it will divide into let's say three parts. Okay, so first part is it will have the address previous node address previous node address. Okay, it contains, okay, let me, so this part is going to represent previous node address, previous node address, and this part is going to represent next node address, next node address. Previous node address and next node address. And again, this will have again internally two blocks that totally we can say four. This contains current node address and value. Current node address and value. So this is the architecture, guys. So the moment when you add a object, I mean integer object, any object you can add. So when you add an object, so it will create a node. That node contains mainly a 4 blocks, but I am trying to explain by 3 because the one node I am representing node address and value. So what this block contains is one node. So first one, previous node address, and the last one, the next node address, and the middle one, we can say current node, and that means the node itself, the node, right? This node address. So node is nothing but some kind of a memory. So it has some address. Address means it's a memory address. So that address and value, what value we are going to keep. Let's say first what value we kept? 1. Okay, so do you have any previous node to this? Do you have any previous node? This is the first
No,
node,
sir.
right? So we
Yes,
don't
sir.
have. So it doesn't have any address. Do you have any next node address at this moment? No, right?
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So now, so this is how it creates first. And the moment when you create the second, I mean, when you try to add this element of the second object, so then again, what it does, again what it does, it will create the, let me create, it will create one more node. So this node again contains 3 blocks. Okay. So now let's say, so it will contain the previous node address. What is the previous node address? Let's say this address is 123. Okay, so here it holds the 123. Okay, and so the value is, what is the value? 2. And let's say this address is 124. This address is 124. Okay, now so you are this second node, while it is creating the second element, it is holding the previous node address and the value and the next node address. But the moment it is happening, you already know that as second node address, right? So then that address will be stored here. So the moment it is created, so that is how the link will happen, one node to another node. The link will happen. How it is linking? This node address will known by this node. Okay, this node address will known by this node. That is how the link will happen. That is the reason we are calling this as a linked list, guys. Okay, now it is again the empty. Again, when you are adding this a third node, when you are adding the third node, I mean third object, so again it will create like this. And what is the previous node address? What is the previous node to this node?
1 to 4.
124. And what is the next node address here? Let's say this is the address is 125. So what is the next node address for this element? The
1
linking
to 5.
125. So that is how every time when you are adding element, the link will happen by keeping the next node and previous node address. So what is the value we can say here? Is the 3. So this is how while adding elements into the linked list it works, guys. Now you guys tell me if I am keep on adding the elements. First to add the first element, it take 1 second. The second element also 1 second. Third element also. If you want to add 100 element also, it will take the same time. Will it get changed anytime? The time, performance wise, while adding elements, object.
No, sir.
So because every time the same step it is doing, just it is creating a new node and keeping the addresses. That's it, right? Previous node address, next node address. So in this case, what is happening is memory wise also whatever required, that memory only using, and also performance wise also it is the same performance throughout, if you add 1,000 elements, 2,000 elements also, this architecture is going to help you, like, so there is no difference. Like in array list, if you see that when you cross the limit of, because as it is using a dynamic array, it is cross again, it has to create a new array and copying all the elements. This all the process is going to take a time, in some time. But in this case, it doesn't take any anywhere, like, more time, because through keep on adding how many elements you add, the same time will be equal time for each node it will take. So the performance wise, you cannot see any difference and difficulty here while adding elements to a linked list. Are you getting me?
Yes, sir.
So far, any doubt, guys?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So now, so the thing is, while when you iterate the elements, iterate means when you trying to extract, get the elements. So we will see how it works. Okay, how it works. Let's say what it will happen, when you want to get any object. Let's say I want to get a third object. Okay, let me write a program here. So about this linked list. I'm just using this. Why we are getting this error, guys? Because we have to import, right? So these warnings we are getting for other reason, we will tell. Don't worry about it. Okay. So now let me add say 1, 2, 3 for your better understanding. Just I'm using integers only. 2, 3, 4, like this. Okay. So let me iterate it. I mean, let me display all the elements, guys. All the elements. Object O equal to same guy. But code wise, if you see that there nothing difference but comparing with the array list and linked list, you don't see any difference, right? Just same way you will do that. But the working style internally, how it works is the matter here. Okay, so it is displaying all the elements, right? It is displaying all the elements. Okay, so now I want to get some object, ll dot get of I'm just declaring here linked list ll dot get of get of 0 or get of something like this. Okay, let me explain in this way. The moment when you are trying to get any element, let's say I'm planning to get a third element. Okay, what actually it does is first it will come to the first object, first node, whether the first node is matching with that value which you are trying to get. Is it matching, guys? Is it matching? So my requirement is I want to get the third element. Okay, the value is third. Now, so first it will come to the first node. So it will check that whether it is matching or not. Is it matching?
No, sir.
So when it does what it does, it will try to look at what is the next node address. Next node address we are already storing in the first node, and it will come here, and again it will check here. So like this, it will keep on check that. So even if you want to get 100 element, 200 element, first node to get the first node or second node, third node, it will take less time. Let's say we have 100 elements. So whenever we are trying to access elements, okay. So uh, the it has to start from first node, because because it will, the searching will not directly go to the element, because here they have to start from first node. And because for each node to another node, it's a linking process, we have to identify, that means JVM has to identify what is the next node address, and based on that it will keep on identifying and doing that. Okay, so in this process what you understand is, so it's completely reverse. An array list, getting the element is performance is good, and adding, keep on adding, is performance is low. And in linked list, adding elements is performance good, and getting elements is performance is low, because comparing it will not give the same time for each element. If you want to get 100 element, that's performance different. First element is first performance different. Like this, like this. So due to this architecture, we are able to solve the problem of performance issue in adding elements, but we got issue in getting element. So that is the reason, it's all about your requirement. Based on your requirement, you can decide and you can use it. Okay, but I hope you understand linked list and array list architecture, internal algorithm, how it works and all, right? So uh, the usage wise, I don't need to explain many things. You know that adding elements and getting elements and all. So the same thing I will try to do here. I will try to remove. I will try to remove uh, here. Same here. Let's see whether we get the concurrent modification exception or not. Okay. Integer. Oh, this is the integer. Okay. So if it is a two, if it is a two, just for our understanding, any condition, generally in real time, based on your requirement, you will keep a condition. LL dot, there is a remove method. I'm just removing the object. Which object, guys? I'm going to remove 0. Okay, removing. So look at this. What kind of exception we are going to face it? So are you getting exception or not?
Yes, sir.
First, it is displaying 1 and 2. The reason why it is displaying 1 and 2 here. Okay, we kept the system.out.println and starting of the for loop, right? Displaying, and then the condition is checking like this. Okay, so that is the reason we are getting 1 and 2. And when the exception is occurring while removing this, same concurrent modification is coming. So you guys understood, right? You cannot use the for loop or for each loop while modifying something. Modifying in the sense means adding and removing from the list which you are iterating. So so we will face the concurrent modification exception. Okay, so to avoid this exception, they already gave that iterator concept. Again, here also you can use, because iterable is the super interface for this list and collection, right? So we can use here also, because because iterator is already implemented in linked list also, because it's implementing the interface called iterable. Same, guys. IT same code wise, you don't see any difference. Are you seeing any difference here comparing with array list and linked list code wise, to add elements, get elements, remove elements and all?
No, sir.
No. So it dot, because if it is true, then I'm calling the next method, the next method, next method, and see here the next. Okay, let me display first, and the next method, next object here. So let me remove here. Let me remove. So I'm just converting into same code, guys. Nothing difficult here. Same code. Just I'm typecasting that object into integer, because all the elements are integer object, and I'm typecasting. Okay. So the same code. If I double equal to 2, then I dot remove I dot not I, guys. What is that? It dot remove. So what is it here? Iterator object. Just use the iterator remove. So it will remove current running, current matching object, whatever the matching object we are having. So it will remove it. And I'm just displaying here all the elements using this LL. Okay. Iterating this one. Running this object. So if you can see that without exception, are you getting that it is working and it's removed already, and we got the latest elements after removing that updated object linked list object elements. So this is how we can do an operations in real time. You will add not only in 2 1 2 3s, guys. You are going to add custom objects also. So these collections objects is going to help you not only adding the primitive values, guys. It is going to help you to add or any custom object also. What is custom objects, guys? I'm just creating one class, guys, here. The class name is product. Okay, so I created a product class and I'm just declaring private integer product number. Okay, and the second variable is private string p name, private string, not string, double p cost. That means product cost. Okay, so you can use primitive data type or else you can use the class also. Anything is fine. So I just declared it. I want to add and setters and getters methods, guys. These are all the private methods. Directly we cannot access. Private variables we cannot access directly from other location. So that is the reason I'm just creating getters and setters and selecting all and set. So look at this. Eclipse is going to help you. To create the method. All the setters and getter methods for. So to set the value, we have setter method and getter method. Like for each property, that means each variable we have that. Now, so I mean to say is, now if you create a product object, let's say product object you are creating, product p equal to new product p equal to new product. So look at this. So this p I can add to this list. Okay, let's say this is the p1, and like this you can create n number of objects. Okay, p1, p2, p3, p4, p5, p6, p7. So like this, I can create n number of custom objects. These are not the predefined, like these 1, 2, 3 and string and all. That those are the already defined by the Java people. This is your own data type. What is your own data type here? Product data type. Your own class object. Okay, you can add this one also. P1, P2, P3, and P4. Like this. So you can add n number of. For now, let's take it only 4. Okay. So now look at this, guys. The code I already written. If I execute this code, will I face any exception? I created a custom objects and I added all the custom objects to here, and I'm iterating and has next, and then getting the next element, and then I'm converting into integer. So will you get any exception here?
In if condition, we have to change it 2 to P2, sir.
So that means you mean to say what kind of value will hold in the next element, next variable? What type of data it is will be holded by next variable. Next is the variable, right? So it.next is going to return some object. What kind of what type of data, what type of object value will be stored in that next variable?
All kind of data, sir.
Kinds of data.
Yeah, it can store all kind of, but in our example, we are adding, but as it is a object reference, it can hold anything. But in our example, we are already adding a product object. While iterating, it.next method will return what object? What type of object?
Product.
Product object.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because generally it will come dynamically, but as we are adding, we know that product object will return product object. But what you are doing in this line? We are trying to convert product to
Typecast integer.
product to which type?
Product
We are trying to convert
integer.
integer. Is it possible?
No, sir.
What
No,
kind
sir.
of exception we are getting? Class
Cast
cast
exception.
exception. So what is saying? Product cannot be cast to java.lang.integer, because product and integer both are different, right? Different kind of data. Product is different and integer is, both are not the similar type. So that is the reason you cannot convert it. That is the reason it is saying that cannot convert. Because earlier example, it was the integer value is storing. That is the reason it is able to convert. But in this case, product we are trying to convert into integer. It is not correct. So that means it won't allow. The JVM will give an exception called class cast. If you look at these error messages, so when you get generally class cast exception, guys, you will get a class cast exception when you when a class cast exception, the moment when you are the object is converting one type to another type, when it is not possible, that moment you will face this exception. For what is the solution now? Here you have to identify the correct class, and you have to, you know, that in while adding the code, you know that in advance you do that. Okay. Here forget about this logic order, and I'm adding this. Look at this. While displaying, it is displaying the class name and a hash code. What is this? These are all the addresses of the object. Address of the object. Okay. Okay. So so far you understood that we can add custom objects also into the list object, right? Okay. Let me go to the product class. Okay. There is a method called toString method, guys. Very important. toString method. In this toString method, what I'm going to do is I'm going to return p number. What is p number, guys?
Product number.
What is p number? Huh?
Product number.
What is p? Product number. So what I'm going to do is p number, or else p number. A toString. I'm going to explain about toString method. toString method is available in object class, guys. So that what is the purpose of toString method, when it is going to help call, that's the point I'm going to explain now. Okay. Source, where is that? Generate toString. I'm selecting all. Generate. Look at this. It generated something code. Okay. Okay. Now I'm gonna execute it. I just generated. I will come and explain that. Look at that. The displaying is got changed now. Is it get changed or not?
Yes.
Displaying got changed or not? So
Yes,
earlier,
sir.
how it was displaying? It was displaying the class name and address. Now it is displaying the all the values of the details of the object. Okay. To simplify this, you can modify this. So let me talk about more detail on the toString method, guys. So what I'm going to do is So toString method is already available in which class, guys?
Object class.
Object. So that object class, if you write the same method in subclass, what is the method available in superclass? If you write the same method in subclass, what we can call it is? We can call it as? We can call it as? You have to talk, guys. Otherwise, how can I understand? Whether you understand or not. So my question is simple question, which I already explained. What I am doing is, what is the superclass for product class, guys?
Object, sir.
Object. So is toString method is already available in object class or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. But the same method I am writing in the subclass.
Override, sir.
We can call it as a method
Override.
override, method overloading. So just we are trying to override the method. So
Yes.
then if I don't write that, so it will execute the superclass. If I override it, it will execute this. But in override, I wrote my own logic to display. Let's come to this point. Whenever we are displaying not only product, guys, whenever we are displaying any object, okay, if you see that LL, I displayed LL, guys. Okay, I displayed LL. So LL means what? So if you array list, right? When you display LL, so what is going to happen is, let's see linked list, right? Let me search for toString. That means linked list toString method. Okay, for some reason we are not. Let me explain with the individual object at this moment. Okay, so I'm trying to display I. I'm trying to display I. So let me run this program first. So we are getting like this. So if I don't override this method, if I don't override means I just commented, guys. If I don't override this method, so you are getting class name and what we are getting? Class name and
Address.
address. So we cannot say that what is the product number and all. So simply it's displaying that. So this code, the moment when you add a override a method, override a toString method, and when you run this, so you can see the output wise is a different. Okay, product number. For timing, it's coming null. So if you add some value here, p1 dot set product number 1 and p1 dot set product name, let's say it is a laptop. Okay, and p1 dot set product cost. What is the product class? Let's say 40,000. Okay, so as it is a double, I just added this. So like this, I added the values to this. Like this, let's add the elements. So this is monitor. Monitor means, let's say it's a 2000. This is P2. This is P2. And let's add this P3. P3. This is the second element. This is the third element. I'm just adding. This is the CPU. Let's say it is 50,000. In the same way, I am adding the fourth element. Guys, are you following me? I'm just adding all the values to that product, guys. That's it. I'm doing here. I'm adding here hard disk. This is all the products. Hard disk. And the hard disk is a P4 hard disk. And 3000, or sorry, 300 or 3000. Okay, so now I'm adding this. Now if I display, you look at this display. If I display, I mean if you run it, so what is displaying, you can see by looking at, you can easily understand, okay, product number. That if you don't add this toString method, what's going to happen is, so it is calling the superclass toString method that is displaying the address of the that particular object. Okay, we are overriding it here as we are overriding. Okay, let me talk one thing here. The moment when you are displaying any object, guys, internally it will call the JVM will call the toString method on the object. ToString method on the object, whichever object you are trying to display. So what internally it calls toString method. So you know that even if you call manually or not manually, if you call manually also it's okay. I just call manually, I mean by code level, same output. If you don't call the method also on that object, what is that? On that object, what you are getting? Same output. So that means by default, what it will do? It will call the toString method. So when it called toString method, what JVM will do? It will look for a method. That method is available in that class or not. If it is available, it executes. So that's up to you. What kind of logic you want to keep based on your convenient. Okay, based on your convenient, you can provide your own logic here. Okay, so this is how is this toString method is not only for any object we are trying to display. By default it will call. If you want to change the representation of that, you can always override the toString method. Then you can do it. Then you can work it out. Okay, so this is how we can add custom objects by providing the logic. I mean adding the elements and all. So custom objects, because array we can add dynamically n number of objects. If you remove, it will adjust it. You know that what will happen when you add elements to the linked list and array list if you use it. Okay, so I hope you understood till now about array list and linked list, guys. Guys, are you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's talk about the another class. Let's talk about the another class. The class is stack, guys. This is also part of list interface implementation classes. Stack is equal to new stack. Simple, guys. Any class will create like this only by using default constructor. If you want to create any another, which is part of java.detail, I created it. Look at that. What are the methods available? Add methods or add all methods capacity, because this stack, let's go and see that stack is extending which class, guys? Stack is extending which class, guys? Vector. So vector is extending which class, guys? Abstract list. And what is the implementation? I mean, this class is implementing which interface, guys?
List.
So then you can say, don't save. You can say this vector a subclass. What is the subclass of vector is? What is the subclass of vector, guys?
Stack.
Okay. And the hierarchy, if you see that, linked list and array list. Okay. Linked list and array list. array list, linked list. So these three classes are implementing list interface. So this list internally extending collection and iterable, all those things. This is how, guys. So what are the direct implementation classes of list? Array list, linked list, and vector.
Vector.
Yeah. So stack is not direct implementation of list interface. Stack is a subclass of
Vector, sir.
vector. Now, so you guys till now understood about the what is list, what is collection, what is array list, what is linked list, right? Only pending is we have to discuss vector and
Stack.
stack. Now let's go and talk about the vector and stack now. So I will say a vector and array list are both are the same, guys. Both are same. But if it both are same, why we need two? Let's go and talk about it. Okay. So let me show you API first of all. Java dot where is vector? Vector. Yeah, this is a vector, guys. This is a vector. Okay. So if you see that vector, so is having all the methods like vector is implementing already the list list interface. It is implemented. Okay. Look at that version, guys. From say this is available since JDK 1.0. This is available since JDK 1.0. That means when this class was introduced into the Java API, you guys know about the versions, right? JDK versions. How
Yes.
many versions till now? What is the latest version now? You are keeping silent, guys.
14 also available, sir.
What is the latest version now? 14. That means how many versions? 14 versions released till now. Okay. At this moment, we are using for our practice and all Java 8. Okay. So what is the latest version? Okay. Now I already explained, right? What is the difference between one version to another version? What could be? You don't know? Generally, version to version, what are the differences? You can see.
New features be added.
Yes. So compiler and JVM and the classes. Because when you download JDK, what you are going to get? When you download JDK, what are the things you will get? Any JDK. Generally, what mainly you will have? You will have Java compiler.
JDK.
And you have the JVM.
And JDK.
And you can say these are all part called JDK, and you will have libraries, predefined libraries. Am I right? This combination you will get because we will have dependent Java compiler dependent files, JVM dependent files, all. So mainly you will get these some features adding to this, and you will get and predefined. So version to version, what are the things is going to change? I mean adding new features to compiler, JVM, and predefined. let's say JDK means Java Development Kit 1.0. So 1.0 has predefined classes. Compiler and JVM will change, that you know already. Predefined classes means set of libraries like java.lang, java.util package, java.io package. These are all, we can say, predefined libraries. So in the Java, so let's say there is a 10 classes are there. And right now, what is our JDK? 14. How many classes you can assume? How many classes, guys? Thousands of classes.
Thousands of classes.
That means what's going to happen? Version to version, these new files are adding, new classes, interfaces are going to add it. So in the same way, JDK 1.0, that means the first version of the Java. So this vector class was introduced in which version, guys? Which version?
JDK
1.0. Now let's go and see about the array list, guys. Let's go and see about array list. Okay, where is array list? One second. Yeah, sorry guys, it was disconnected. Internet was disconnected. So everyone able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. So I think you were there in the line till vector, right? Showing the version. Okay. Let's go and see that array list, guys. Look at this array list. So array list is available from which version, guys? From which version it is available? Array list? Huh? From which version it is available, guys? Guys, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
So vector is from which version it is available when it was introduced?
Java 1.0, sir.
Array list from which version? Can you see my screen?
No, sir.
Oh, sorry guys. I thought so it was disconnected, right? So 1 second. Now, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Look at this. From which version this array list is available?
1.2.
1.2. So that means which is old class? Array list or vector?
Vector.
Array list or vector? Which class? Which class is the older class?
Vector.
Vector.
Vector. So we can say vector is the old class, array list is the new class. But difference is both are implementing the list interface only. But vector and array list both will work in the same manner, like adding element. It will also use the dynamic array. That is also use the dynamic array and all. But only the difference you have to see is okay. Let me open that class also. Let me open that class as well. Okay. Where is vector? Vector, yeah. Okay. So this vector and the array list, array list, both are the same. Okay. But one difference is there. So that difference I have to explain you guys. So that is nothing but this is vector is synchronized class, guys. Okay. First of all, the difference is this is a old class. Which is old class, guys? Vector is the old class, and array list is the new class. That means after vector only we have the array list is introduced. Okay. The difference only thing is vector is a synchronized things. Okay. Vector is synchronized. If I go and see that add method, sub method, remove method, you can see all the methods, same methods you can see in the array list also. Let me open this. Same methods already implemented. Okay. So the difference is synchronized. First of all, if you want to understand what is synchronized, you have to understand a thread concept, guys. Threads concept. What is thread? Multi-threading. You have to understand multi-threading. So once you understand the multi-threading, then if I talk about the synchronization concept, then you might understand clearly about synchronization, guys. Okay. Okay. So let it keep the vector as a synchronized only. But let's talk about before talking about what is synchronized, I have to talk about the threads concept, multi-threading concept. I will talk about it. For now, the basic difference you understood is vector is the old class because it was since from 1.0, and the difference between array list and vector is synchronized and array list is not synchronized. Synchronized, all the methods is not synchronized. Okay. To understand synchronized, I have to talk about multi-threading. Okay, I will talk about it. First, for time being, let's keep on hold because you don't understand directly explain that synchronized. You have to understand the multi-threading at all. Before going to that, let's complete the stack, guys. Stack is the class. What is the stack? Is the class subclass. Subclass of stack is the subclass of
Vector.
vector class. Okay. So look at this. How many methods we have? Only less number of methods, guys. Peek method, pop method, push method, search method. and empty method. Empty method will do, it will clear all those things. Test if it is empty or not. If it is clear already, then if you call this method, I mean, whenever you want to check whether it is empty or not, then you can use this method, guys. Okay, let me talk about a simple architecture. You guys already know that what is stack. I don't need to explain more. Generally, you guys know that what is stack, guys. Stack architecture. What is stack architecture? Have you heard earlier? You haven't heard about it?
Yes, sir.
Guys, if you anyone knows that what is stack, you can explain. You can explain what is stack.
Stack was with the last in first out principle.
Okay, so last in LIFO,
LIFO,
last in
first out.
So in this algorithm, what will happen? So let's say, so this is how we are going to divide this. Let's say this is the whole thing is a stack. Okay, I'm just dividing into these different blocks, guys. I'm just dividing into different blocks. Okay, so the elements will add in this direction. Okay, so whenever I add, let's say I add one object. Okay, it will store here. First add 2, second add 3, 2, like this. Or else, if you want better understanding, okay, I added fruit names. I mean strings, all fruit. Let's say I added banana, the first, and second I added apple, and third I added grapes. Fourth I added orange. Fifth I added tell me some other fruit name.
Mangoes.
Mangoes. So like this I added. So now in this architecture I added like this. Now what is first added? Which object, which element?
Banana.
Banana. Now I want to get, this is the box, only one side open box, cannot two side, guys. Top side open box. Okay, you can keep like this. If you want to get element in a box, let's say one box is there, you keep all the things, and which you kept firstly, that if you want to get, you can get only last. That is called last in first out.
First out.
So which is last in first out. What is lastly added? Mangoes. You can get first itself. If you want to get it already keeping, we arranged all the elements in this stack. Okay, stack means it's a one side open, and whatever the elements you keep, the first one will come last one will come first. So that axis. So in this architecture, if you want to arrange the elements such a way, okay, last in first out architecture, then you can go and use you can add group of elements to by using which object, guys? Which object you can use for this architecture to arrange the elements in this architecture? Which class you can use? Which class you can use? Which class is going to help you?
Stack.
Stack internally will help such a way. Okay, if you can see that there is a push method. Push method is going to help you to put the elements. Pop method will remove the elements. Pick method look at the object at the top of the stack without removing it from the stack. And this pop method will remove from the stack that object as the value of the function. Push method is going to keep that. And these are the three methods is important to you guys. If you want to remove it,
which method you have to remove? Which method you have to use? Pop method. If you want to only get that, we want to get that element, peak method. So how it is going to add? Which you added last, that object you will get. We will see the example. So you understood that, right? We have that methods called important method. This search method is there, and empty method is all based on your requirement. So if you want to pass the position and all, it will give the searching. But let's talk about these three methods, guys. Push method, pop method, peak method. Okay, let me go here, tag. So now I have to add. So let me add dot, which method, guys? Push. So I am going to add banana. Is it correct spelling? Okay, I added the element called banana string, and s dot again push. So what is the element I can add here, guys? Let's say apple. Okay, s dot push of, I'm going to add let's say grapes. Okay, for timing, let's take 3 only. So now, so I arrange the elements here like this. Let me display. So display wise, you can see the what are the elements is added. So display is S. I just added S. Let me run it. Running. So banana, apple, grapes. You got it. Okay. Now, so to access the elements lost in first out architecture, so L dot, there is a pop method. Let's say pop method. So what this pop method is going to help you? It is going to help you display.
Remove
First, remove that. Remove and get the value. For timing, so what I will do is, I'm just getting the element. What is pop element? I'm just displaying. And finally, I'm going to display this S also. S also. S means, you can see here, S means what? Stack. So this S, before a pop method, I will call once, and after pop method, I will call. Look at this, guys. So what generally pop method will do, guys? Pop method is
Removing the
going to
element.
removing the element. Which element it will remove?
Top of the element, sir.
What is the top of the element in our
Grapes.
example?
Grape.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Before removing, before calling the methods, but we have 3 things, 3 objects: banana, apple, and grape. And what we removed, grapes. If you see that banana, apple is still there, which element it removed? Which is added lost. So same architecture, right? Before architecture, lost in first out. Okay. If instead of pop, if you use peak method, what will happen, guys? What will happen here? Peak method.
Top of the element displayed.
Yes. So it is added. It is this. I mean, top of the element it got, but it is not removed. It got not removed because the peak method is going to only, if you want to access the top of the element, you can use it. But removing case, you can use peak pop method. So, and the push method is going to, if you want that kind of requirement, how it behaves. If you want to get a latest element which is added LIFO architecture, you can use stack. This is available. Okay, so you can use it. Now only pending is what? Do you have any questions in the stack, guys?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So only pending is, what is the pending thing we have?
Vector.
Vector. Okay, so I will talk, because I have to talk about multi-threading. Multi-threading concept. Then I can explain that vector, guys. Okay. So multi-threading will take some time, but high level I will tell. But when I talk about the multi-threading, I will explain. Okay. Multi-threading means the moment when you whenever you call this main method,
So this is, we can call it as a one thread. Okay. So let's say, in other words, let's say guys, there is a one task. Okay. So there is a task. So this task, whoever going to do, this is the task, whoever is going to do. So we can call him generally task executor, task who is doing the work and all. But in our words, in programmatic say, we can say who actually doing all this work, who is actually, who are executing all these things.
JVM.
Yeah, JVM only. So JVM internally using one thread. What is that?
Main method.
What is that, guys? Main method. So main method is the one of the thread. Okay, main method is one of the one main thread. You can say it is a main thread. The terminology I'm talking, guys. Main thread. So this thread, to this thread we assign the task. Task might be this, all the things we can say. Okay, we assign the task to this thread. So let's say there is a one task, the task called, for in our example, let's say there are multiple objects are there. Let's say these are all the objects. Okay, so one person one, I gave this task to person. Okay, go and count all the, how many objects are there in this area. I assign some task to a person. Let's say I assign this task to the Muni. So Muni started and counting. He said, okay, these are 25 are there. He took 25 seconds of time. How much time it took? 25 seconds of time to count all the objects in that area. Okay, so now my plan is, I want to reduce how many members worked on the task, guys? My task, what is the task? The task is count all the objects in that area, right? So that is the task. I assign the task to how many members? Only one member I assign. So that person is worked on that. He took 25 seconds of time. Okay, now I don't want to spend 25 seconds of time on the task. I want to reduce that the time. So then what I can do? You guys tell me what I can do.
Split the work and share, sir. Share the all members.
What I going to do, guys? You are not getting any idea?
Yes, sir. Splitting the work and share the all members, sir.
Okay, so if I assign the same task to another person, if I assign the same task to tell me, guys, no idea for you? If I assign the same task to one more person, I assign the same task to
two people in this time to one task for, I mean, the same task, one member is Muni and another member is Renuka. Then, so they will do the same task. They will tell their both count, then we will submit. Okay. So in that time, by assigning the same task to the two people, are you able to reduce the time or not? So that they will complete in fast manner, comparing with earlier case. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Here we can say, so why multiple people are working on the same task, guys? For what reason we are working? Huh?
To reduce time.
To reduce the time, to reduce execution time. And so now in our case, two persons are working. That means two threads are working. Thread one is Muni, thread two is Renuka. So now you guys tell me, two persons are working on the same task parallelly, so that we are able to complete the task in a very less time. Okay, to reduce the time only, right? So we can call it as a multi-threading. Okay, so what is the best advantage of multi-threading, guys?
Reduce
To
the time.
reduce
Use
time.
the time.
Reduce the time on the task. Okay, any task. So if you assign only one person, he might take long time. He will complete it, but it may take more time. Okay, whenever you feel you want to execute that set of code or set of a method, if you want to execute anything in a specific time, generally you will assign to one method, that means one thread. If you feel you want to more execute that in a less number of time, then you can go and assign the same task to by splitting the same task to another thread. Okay, so if both the multiple threads are working, that is one case. So in our high level, if you go and see that, let's say the registration is open, guys. Registration is open, or else we can say whenever you are looking for results, like if you go manabadi.com, what is the purpose of Manabadi? I'm just going to explain.
You'll see the result.
You can go and look at the results there. I don't know, some reason it's not working. What other things? Okay, let's say there is some latest result is inter first year result, AP inter. Okay, so you will enter the hall ticket number here. Okay, you will enter the hall ticket number. When you enter hall ticket number, so let's say the result is open at 10 o'clock, and everybody will come to this website and will try to access it or not. So that
Yes,
means
sir.
lakhs of people will try at the same time, trying to access the result. Am I correct? Okay. Right
Yes,
now
sir.
I'm clicking on, at the same time might be other person also will try to access it. Okay, so now let me give an overall idea. When I click on submit button, so internally what will happen? It will call one method in Java level. So that method code is only one method. Okay, are you getting me? That is only one method. How many members trying to access that method, guys? At a time?
So many numbers.
So many. It's not like, for each person there is no individual method. If you do like that, lakhs of methods has to be there. Am I correct? There is only one method is going to help you. Let's say you went to railway ticket counter. There is 200 people on the queue. How many people are working on that? I mean, only one counter is serving you. So how many threads are going and doing accessing, trying to access multiple people. So at a time, multiple people are, when you try to access, it has to work on that. In that case also, if multiple people are trying to access that method, if you don't want to allow at a time on a particular logic or particular method, so we can call it as we can make that method or class as a synchronization, and so that a multiple thread will not work on at a time. It will once executed one thread, then only it will allow. Okay, so this is called generally we can say synchronization concept, guys. So let me, when I am talking about multi-threading, I will take examples and programs. We will try to explain about it. So vector and array list both are same, but only the difference between vector and array list is vector is synchronized, array list is not synchronized. That means if multiple threads are working on vector methods, add method or any method, so that won't allow at a time. Because it is synchronized, it won't allow at a time. Only once executed for one thread, then only it will allow other thread. But whereas an array list, it will work, all threads will work on the same method parallelly. It won't work on parallelly in vector. That is the only difference. Output wise, the usage wise, everything is same array list and in array list and vector. But you will understand more detail what is synchronization, what is multi-threading, how to do this, and all we will try to understand when I talked about multi-threading. Guys, did I explain anything multi-threading in earlier classes?
No, sir.
No, right? Okay. Yeah. So I hope you understand what is list, array list, linker list, vector, and stack. Anything you want to clarify from this? And you do practice so that you will get more confident on that.